Hey everybody, Scott Monday with Kitchen and Bath Crate, and today I am here with Dawn, recent past customer here at Kitchen Crate Custom Vintage Drive in beautiful Turlock, California. Dawn, say hello to everybody out there.
Hello.
So Dawn, you're generous enough to walk through us today your Kitchen Crate experience, and we're actually sitting in this beautiful new kitchen. Are you excited about that?
I love this kitchen.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You really did a great job.
Well, we did a great job.
We did a great job, that's right. So, let me start out with this question. Before you even heard of Kitchen and Bath Crate, like what caused you to decide, I need a kitchen remodel? What were the pain points that led you to that?
Well, the whole house is about 22 years old.
Okay.
And so the finishes that were in the house were very, very dark. Having been through the COVID pandemic and spending a lot of time at home in a very dark environment,
right.
That's not good for anybody. And my husband said, I'm done with this. And I was like, okay, let's go. Fortunately for me, I had been doing Pinterest boards for years. You know, everybody likes to dream a little bit about what their dream house would have and what it would look like. So I kind of knew what I wanted. And besides being dark, the old kitchen was very small and kind of cramped, and you could only fit maybe 2 people in at a time. And it didn't suit what we wanted to do with our life and our family anymore. So we needed the change.
You elected to go with a Kitchen Crate Custom, in which everything is new, right? We kind of took this space down to the sheetrock. It got gutted. But the nice thing about that is you're able to create this beautiful new island, and like you mentioned, get rid of the peninsula. And I know with those peninsula kitchens, sometimes it's like a one road in and out of the kitchen. So if you have guests over, it's kind of hard to maneuver,
You're
right?
You're pinned.
Right, exactly. So the home was built right around 2000 then, right? Talk a little bit about the finishes. Like what finishes, like what countertop did you have? What cabinet did you have? Those types of things.
Okay, we had like a mahogany cherry finish on all of the wood everywhere. So it was a dark finish. We had Corian countertops, which were very durable. They weren't necessarily dark, but they weren't what we wanted anymore. Yeah. The sink was a porcelain sink, and it was starting to not look as nice as it used to.
Needed some attention.
It needed some attention. I didn't have a lot of counter space. Certainly not what I have now. I had that lovely ledge that we no longer have because the cabinets go all the way up.
So above the uppers, there was just this ledge, the dust ledge, as we call it, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe occasionally like a fern or something like that.
Yeah. No, the fake ones, because you're not getting up there to water them.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
Yeah.
It's way up there.
But I paid for all that real estate up there, so I want to use it all.
You did. And that 2-tier cabinet solution is a brilliant solution. Okay, cool. So those were the pain points. So just to reiterate, so the layout you didn't love.
Didn't love the layout, didn't love the finishes anymore. It wasn't practical for our life, and needed to change. You had a little bit of a circuitous route along the way from A to B in terms of before you even found Kitchen and Bath Crate. So why don't you kind of share about that journey from, hey, we need to get this done, to we found our contractor. Okay, so we started, my husband really wanted a designer to come in and take a look at least the bottom floor and put all the finishes together. He wanted a cohesive design with cohesive colors that were light. Didn't make everything feel so closed in, because we used, 20 years ago, dark colors were in, and so that's how the house was done. So I knew a designer and started there and sank a considerable chunk of money in and got a basic kitchen layout. And then as that process continued, they didn't listen to some things. And so we stopped that process, and by that time it was July of last year, and we had already committed to the appliances in this kitchen. And we had to decide whether we were going to take a financial hit and let go of the appliances, or if we were going to move forward. And I'm like, no. We need to find somebody. And my husband was like, well, what do you want to do? I think I know some people, because not only did I have the connection with the kids, your kids, but you also had a crate job just about half a mile that way, and you had a crate parked there for some time. Not some time. It was actually really short.
Yeah, for the duration of the job.
Yeah, for the duration of the job. And so I was like, they come to Turlock. Let's see what we can do. At that point, I reached out and I talked to either Bree or Paula. I can't remember which first. And they were really great about talking to me, and then we progressed from there.
Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, so sometimes it does take a few stops along the way to find the right solution for your job. There's a lot of times where that designer first approach works really well, and depending on the scope of work and kind of what's needed.
And depends on who you're working with, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but we're glad that at the end of the day that you found Kitchen and Bath Crate, and then you reached out, you talked to Paula, you scheduled your in-home consultation. And so what was your impression of Chris, who was your salesperson, when he came out for that first meeting?
Chris was amazing. And he walked around, and you can't help but like Chris.
I know.
You can't help. He's just really great. But originally, we looked at remodels on our old house, and that was a long time ago. And so we thought we were going to do the kitchen and 2 bathrooms. Chris started walking around and goes, you might want to scale that back. And so we did, but Chris was really great about going through, and he separated the kitchen from the 2 bathrooms and separated the 2 bathrooms out. And that was really great in helping us figure out where we wanted to spend our money. And we really knew, because the kitchen is the heart of the home and certainly is really the heart of this home. So we knew we needed to start here. And he was really great throughout the process. From the consultation through choosing finishes, he was just pretty amazing.
And I heard that maybe along the way he had a crystal ball moment and actually, out of this deck of colors, guessed which color you were going to go with.
An hour before I actually picked the color, he's like, oh yeah, it's going to be Gibraltar blue. What?
It is Gibraltar
blue.
Which it looks great, by the way. I love
it's
the
amazing.
two-tone.
I love this.
The two-tone with the island and the perimeter cabinets. Great decision there. Yeah. So Chris did well, and then along the way, the second phase of the Chris part of the project is you met Lindsay, the designer, right?
She was amazing.
Wasn't she?
She was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Lindsay was, I had my Pinterest boards, and I had, been collecting stuff for years on Pinterest, which was great. But she kind of took a look at things and knew what I liked, and she narrowed the field, because I could have gone bonkers. You go out to Bedrosian's or whoever your supplier is for countertops. I could have wandered through there all day.
Right.
It's a really good thing I didn't, because my mother has a gift. She likes to go into a store and she'll pick the most expensive thing out there. I inherited that gift.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean I can afford it. So she did a great job of narrowing things down to price points, materials that she thought would best suit our needs. And we had already kind of looked at the quartz. We told her what kind of we wanted and what we were going for, because we really did want a very calm, very cool, very non-cluttered look for this kitchen, because as you know, I teach junior high all day, and so I devote a lot of energy to those kids, and when I come home, I just need to power down.
That's right.
And so having everything be so uncluttered and calm is really important, and it's important for my husband too. So she did a great job of helping keep things calm and keep me calm.
Oh, absolutely. So you worked with Chris and Lindsay, came up with this beautiful design scheme, including this floor, which I definitely want to touch on, because you have two dogs?
Two dogs.
Two dogs
and a cat.
And this floor is a great product for being both beautiful but also super resistant
durable
to pet issues, right?
Yeah, I have an elderly dog.
Right. So very easy to clean, looks great.
Super easy to
Scratch
clean.
resistant, so good choice there. So you met with Chris, you met with Lindsay, now we had the scope of work established, we had the price dialed in, we had the design dialed in, and then along...
Cabinet makers.
Yes, that's right.
Because that was important.
That's right. Yeah,
so cabinet maker meeting was really important.
So talk a little bit about that cabinet design meeting and the role that it played in your overall, like making your vision come true.
There were a couple of points that were really important to me. The first one is what I call the Granny's cupboard, and it houses several pieces that my grandmother gave to me, and that cupboard was designed around a bowl that was given to her by her mother-in-law. And so I'm at least the fourth generation to have that bowl. So we measured that bowl. I said, you can't make that cupboard any smaller than this.
Right.
And the cupboard's lit because I want to showcase it. And there are several other features. As we started walking around, I was like, and I want pull-out drawers for utensils, and I want pull-out drawer for spices. And Mike's like, what are you talking about, buddy? Trust me. All of the lowers, except for one cupboard, are pull-out drawers because I never want to be on my hands and knees digging through a cupboard again.
100%.
And that was like the number one thing. And Mike was like, we want that. And here we have a great paper towel dispenser and storage, which the cabinet maker had never seen or heard of. And I said,
it's the first time I'd seen it.
Here's Pinterest. Let me show you what I want.
Yeah, which
That's
is super
what you're gonna
clever
make.
idea. Because it keeps, I think you had mentioned before, you like to have an uncluttered workspace, uncluttered countertops. So anything like that you can take off the countertop, which most of us have our paper towels there,
and I don't want it hanging from underneath either.
Absolutely.
So that was important. And then we have trash and recycling, which is super important because before it was separated and it was a separate away. Now it's all tucked away. Dogs can't get to it. It's all
centrally located.
Centrally located. And I didn't know. See, this is where Chris is just brilliant again. I didn't know I wanted the granite composite sink until I went into the meeting, and I hadn't looked through all the specs as carefully as I probably should have, because I went into the design meeting and I said, not the cabinet design, but the other, I said, Chris, I really would like to look at a granite composite sink. And he takes my specs and he flips it open and goes,
it's already in there.
Okay, Chris, you're starting to get a little scary.
Now, did you see you saw the different color options it came in?
I did.
Right?
And this, of course, the gray matches, the gray veining in the
it's a perfect selection. It looks like it was literally designed color-wise for the veining of this countertop.
Right.
So you found that the cabinet design phase to be super effective.
I loved it.
And did you get everything you wanted?
I got everything.
Including your custom hood?
Oh my gosh, I forgot the hood.
Oh, don't forget the hood.
Oh, I couldn't forget
the hood.
The
is
hood.
amazing.
Oh. The hood was super important to me as well. And I actually showed the cabinet maker a couple of the Pinterest boards again because I'm like, okay, something like this. They're like, okay, yeah, we can do that. It's not a big deal. When they delivered it, they delivered all of the cabinets unpainted. And they brought the hood in and they put it on the floor, and Mike was home for the delivery and installation of the cabinets. And I was at work, I was teaching, and he took a picture of the hood and he sent it to me while I was in the middle of class, and I started to cry, and all my 7th grade students are like, Mrs. P, what's wrong with you? I'm like, my hood is gorgeous.
You don't understand. It's so beautiful. And that was when it was on the ground, right?
It was on the ground. It was unpainted, but it was beautiful.
Now, at some point along the way, you met your project manager.
Aaron.
You remember Aaron?
Oh, I love Aaron. Aaron's I would say a great big teddy bear, but he might take offense to that. He is fantastic. So my favorite thing about Aaron, well, I have a couple favorite things about Aaron, but my favorite thing about Aaron was that he wanted things done right. I mean, you could tell from the word go that Aaron is a man of integrity and ethics, and he was going to make sure things were right, period. The second thing I loved about Aaron was that every night that there was work, we got a text message, both Mike and I got it, so we were all on the same page all the time, telling us what had been accomplished, that day and what was coming up the next day. If there had been an issue of any kind, he was very upfront about it and would tell us how it was going to be rectified. I mean, he was completely transparent. You want to talk about transparency? That's it.
Because there's issues.
You can't do construction and not hit issues.
No, and I think that, we are the first to raise our hands and say we have challenges on jobs just like a lot of other contractors. But what you pointed out is we feel very convicted that we need to make those things right.
Right.
Those aren't your issues, those are our issues.
Well, and that, it was just, and I feel like our remodel, because of the circuitous route that we came and having the issues with all of the supply chain with the appliances, we kind of felt like we were kind of a pain in the rear because we had to, the company had to come out more than they would have otherwise.
I mean,
if you had done, any other time, everything would have been here and you would have been in and out in your allotted time.
Yeah.
But we had to, things had to come back. So, but Aaron, just the level of integrity. And I think I can say that every person that worked on this job, I was very, very impressed with. Every person that came in was friendly, said hello, joked with us, but they all got their job done. Nobody skimped on craftsmanship or professionalism. Nobody shirked any kind of duty. I mean, everybody worked and did their best, and it really shows. I mean, there are little details that make a big difference to us. All of the tile work, there are little things about the tile work, like where the spacers are and how that, like that angle, how that angled wall ends and the spacing of the tiles. If that had been done differently, it would have driven me nuts, but they did it perfectly symmetrical.
Those little things.
It's the little teeny tiny things, and it was pretty awesome.
That's
so
great.
We are really happy about that.
That's really cool. You've been very generous with kind of walking the folks out there through your experience.
I'm happy to.
I do have a final question for you, but before I ask that, do you have any kind of final thoughts or observations or anything like that you want to share?
This was a really good experience for my family. We lost the use of our kitchen. Okay, fine.
How long did the job take? I don't remember.
I don't either. We were probably a month, but that wasn't the company's fault. That was because we didn't have the appliances yet due to supply chain issues. Because while we bought them in July, we were told they'd be here the first of the year. And then it was March, and then it was April.
Yeah, COVID shipping issues did create a little bit of a challenge.
So I just can't say enough about the integrity of people working for you. And we were very, very impressed with the whole process. The Nest camera, so that people could be held accountable for their comings and goings, was an interesting idea. And I thought that was actually a really smart move.
Yes.
Because we've worked with contractors before. We had issues with our first house, and we had issues with getting people to come out, even just to give an estimate. And the team, and I do mean team, I mean everybody at Kitchen Bath, have been extraordinarily responsive. And I think that that's a big selling point. They were at work every day unless it was on the schedule, and they kept to the schedule or were ahead of schedule in some spots. I would encourage anybody, and lots of my neighbors have been asking who did the kitchen. I had just this weekend, I had a neighbor down the street bring her mom through because her mom needs to have her kitchen remodeled, and she wanted to know who we had worked with and what was the experience like. And I'm like, it's all positive, you can't imagine. It was a fantastic experience.
I really appreciate you trusting us with the project, trusting us to come into your home and turn that multi-year vision through Pinterest and other strategies into reality. It turned out phenomenally, and just truly appreciate you choosing
Absolutely,
our company.
my pleasure.
Are you ready for the last question?
Go for it.
There's a lemon cake back here. Do you think we can cut into
Oh,
that
absolutely.
thing? Okay, cool.
My pleasure.
Thanks again. So everybody, once again, this is Dawn here at kbCRATE Custom Vintage Drive in Turlock. Thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, my pleasure.
Really appreciate that. If you have any questions about your own project, maybe give us a call, 888-995-7996, or kbCRATE.com, which you probably went to a few times.
More than once.
Right? There's about, I think my last count, about 650 past projects that we profiled on there, so you can kind of find pretty much anything that your heart would desire. Yeah, it's on there, absolutely. So anyway, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.